Let me tell you of the days of high adventure.
Hello, I'm Kevin.
And I'm Eric.
And this is 6 Degrees of Schwarzenegger, the podcast where we take a long, hard look at some of our favorite action movies from the era of Arnold.
Schwarzenegger is the icon of the genre, and we're taking a deep dive into some of these 80s and 90s cult action movies and breaking them all the way down.
Eric.
We're back.
Yes.
Another one. Here we go.
I'm stoked, man.
This is an interesting one. I'd never seen this movie before.
Never ever?
Ever. No.
Oh.
This was the first viewing for me.
Oh, this is a special treat for you
Yeah,
then.
it was. Absolutely.
So, without any further ado, we're here to talk about 1991's Lionheart, Van Damme flick that I grew up watching on super heavy rotation.
Oh, really?
So, yeah, I've seen this movie. I mean, I had a VHS that was recorded off network TV, or
wow.
cable.
Yeah.
So heavily censored.
Yeah.
So even watching it uncensored now, there's still like a lot that I'm like, oh yeah, that was not in the TV version. But yeah, it was early in Van Damme's career and his
Yes.
ascendancy. But I can't believe you managed to not see this one.
No, we've watched the same channels with the same movies
Yeah.
on rotation.
I don't know how you missed this one, but I had blind spots too. Like I had
Yeah.
never seen Roadhouse
Well, that's
until,
true. Yeah, that's
until we were
fair.
doing the podcast.
Okay.
And I'm like, and I know that was on TBS Weekly, and I just made a conscious choice. I don't want to watch this movie.
Right, Patrick Swayze.
I don't know
of course.
anything about it. I just know I'm not interested. And then when I watched it, I'm like, oh man,
wow, this is a great movie.
I should have been watching this. This is so good. But no, 1991, early in Van Damme's career,
Yeah.
he had come on the scene in like 88
Got his still his
with
baby
Bloodsport
face.
or 87. Yeah. And I mean, this was only like his fourth or fifth movie where he was like the man.
Wow.
In it. And it had to be the biggest one. Like it was, a Universal Pictures movie.
Mm-hmm.
So interesting. Okay, because I think this movie is way better than it has any right to be. It stands above like the other just karate flicks.
I mean, some of the cast, which we'll get into in a second, is hitting way above their weight class in this movie.
And having done
Hard to Kill. Oh my God.
It's like, holy shit, this is a movie that seems like it was made by people who gave a shit.
In all fairness, the bar for Hard to Kill was really low.
But like there was like some level of craftsmanship
Yeah.
to the set design, to the editing, the lighting.
The plot actually made sense.
The plot makes sense, and there was like bits that were well written. Like some of the dialogue was snappy and good,
Characters actually had motivation and a justification for being in the movie.
and like some of them had arcs.
Yeah.
like
Yeah, exactly.
Actually, yeah. It's all the things you want in a real movie.
Yeah, I know. It's almost like it was a real movie.
Yeah, but it was directed by this dude Sheldon Lettich, who, if you watched a lot of these flicks, the name is probably familiar because he co-wrote Bloodsport with Frank Dukes.
Oh, wow.
Who claimed that this was
Yeah.
like a real story. But I think then he hitched his wagon to Van Damme's star because he was a frequent collaborator with Van Damme. They did Double Impact together, which is one of your preferred Van Damme movies,
yeah.
right?
I love Double Impact. Yeah.
They did another one called Legionnaire, which I never did watch.
I've
It was
never seen Legionnaire
another
either.
French Foreign Legion picture that Van Damme did. He did Rambo 3. He wrote Rambo 3, which at the time was like the biggest budget movie ever made
I did not know
when
that.
it came out. So, he was writing movies that were big deals.
Yeah, dollar bills. Holy shit.
And yeah, written by Lettich and Van Damme and Stephanie Warren.
So I did a little bit of looking into this. She's only ever get 2 writing credits. Her big claim to fame is that she was like an old, like classic sitcoms actor. So she was on Bewitched. She was on The Flying Nun. She had just these bit parts in old black and white TV shows, and she's got 2 writing credits. One of them is Lionheart. I have no idea. I could not find any other information on why she's credited in this movie.
Well, I think it said something about like original story by.
Oh,
her.
okay.
And she probably had written some like legitimately good thing, and they just took it and copied and pasted. Like, we got to make it work with Van Damme.
That may be the case.
We're going to turn this into a Van Damme vehicle.
Well, just like Die Hard, right? Like that book was originally for Frank Sinatra.
Yeah.
And
I think Die Hard with a Vengeance was originally just its own thing. And they said, can we just overhaul this and make it a Die Hard movie?
So yeah, but she's not written anything else since Lionheart in '91, or at least credited as writing anything.
Well, interesting.
Yeah.
Produced by a whole cavalcade of people, but the main producers on it were a guy named Eric Carson, who had produced The Octagon and Black Eagle, another early Van Damme movie that's like unwatchable.
Again, another one.
He's playing like he is the guy who doesn't talk at all. He's like he's the heavy, the muscle for the bad guy.
Okay.
And he's like a KGB guy. It's like a sort of a weird spy movie set in Malta.
Okay.
Where like American spies played by like a very Chinese man and are vying for like trying to find some secret weapon or some shit like that. And Van Damme, the Frenchman, is playing like his Russian counterpart or whatever.
That makes sense.
That's a wild movie.
That's weird.
I think that might have been a canon. No, I guess it wasn't a canon picture if it was produced by these guys.
Yeah, probably not.
And a bunch of dudes named Shaw produced this. SHAH.
Yeah, judging by their names, I think that they're Indian.
Yeah, it would have to be.
Yeah,
it had to be some rich people bringing some like foreign money to Hollywood.
That's all I can imagine.
Like the Canon Pictures guys, like the Israeli company coming to like just start cranking out blockbusters. But it's harder. It's harder than it looks. It's a good way to lose a lot of money fast.
Although in the case of these guys, they did make some money because they hitched their wagon to JCVD pretty hard.
Well, they had their name also on Black Eagle and Sudden Death, which I actually like Sudden Death, as I recall. I haven't seen it probably in 15 years, 20 years.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you a single thing about it.
And they did the Double Dragon movie.
That's right.
Which was god-awful.
Unwatchable. Yeah. Legitimately unwatchable.
I have tried to watch it, and it can't be done.
It's the only other movie I can think of that is that bad based on a video game is the Dragon Ball Evolution movie.
No, of course, did not see that.
Yeah,
no.
Which is just, again, I couldn't get through it. It's so unbelievably bad.
Early video game movies, they didn't know how to do it.
No.
They still sometimes don't know how to do it.
No, they're getting better, but yeah.
Yeah. Oh, well. So the actors in the flick, Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Obviously.
As we mentioned, it playing Leon Gautier. We had a dude named Harrison Page as Joshua.
I've never seen before.
No. And I'm like, this dude turns in like an A-list performance in this movie. He's awesome.
Yeah. And probably the biggest arc in the whole movie.
Yeah, he like has he develops as a character in a big way, but this dude was like a guy who goes back to the 60s, like old Hollywood. He had been in Beyond the Valley of the Dolls was like his first movie, and maybe the only movie he did until he did Lionheart.
Wow.
Then between that he did like tons of TV, but he was on shit like on Bonanza and Mannix and FBI. Like he was like the lifestyle that dude was living in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, like just doing these little guest spots on these TV shows. Those were the shows that this guy, Harrison Page, was doing.
That's incredible.
But he was steady working on TV stuff. He was doing like episodes of Ally McBeal and ER and Cold Case and Jag. And he's apparently he's in the, if it ever comes out, the Jonathan Majors movie Magazine Dreams that's supposed to be coming out.
Oh, really?
He's like the guy's like a wannabe bodybuilder or something. It's supposed to be a great film. It was like getting all sorts of best picture, best actor buzz. And then he went around and like smacked his girl around or whatever, and they put it on the shelf like a couple years ago. But I've seen a trailer for it now. I think it's finally going to come out.
Okay.
So if I see it, I'm going to have to look out for Harrison Page. Okay, then we had Deborah Renard playing the character of Cynthia,
who I thought was just named the lady for 3/4 of the movie, which we'll figure out why later.
And I've never seen her in a single thing other than this movie.
Nope.
Apparently she was in like 180 something episodes of Dallas, which I obviously didn't watch.
Yeah.
But she plays the part well.
Yeah.
For what it is.
For what it is. Yeah. My mother would probably recognize her. She loves Dallas.
Oh yeah, big
She's
Dallas
watched
fan.
the whole series multiple times.
I know it's got one of your personal favorites, Brian Thompson.
Right? Alien bounty hunter's son from the X-Files. Represent.
He's playing the character of Russell.
And just like in the X-Files, he's a horrible actor.
Oh, yeah. He was, well, most of the time, did they let the alien bounty hunter talk?
No, he has no lines of dialogue for the first several
appearances. See, that's smart.
Yeah, he has 3 lines of dialogue, I think, in the entire series.
Because this dude's got a look.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
He's got a great look.
He's got a great look, and he can't really act much. But he was in the original Terminator.
He was
one of the punks.
He played Shao Kahn in the second Mortal Kombat movie.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
I did not see that one.
Yeah.
He played the Night Slasher in Stallone's Cobra.
Oh, that's right.
That's probably the movie where I've seen him do the most talking.
Mm-hmm.
But he was sort of like a menacing serial killer guy, and everything he spoke was sort of like, I speak in a low, rumbling voice. In Terminator, it was him and Bill Paxton.
Oh, he was in the Bill Paxton gang.
He was one of the punks.
Oh, wow. I had no idea.
But yeah, so, but again, he didn't get to talk much in the thing. Yeah. But he's got that look, man. No one else looks like him.
No, he's definitely got a distinct look. Yeah.
Then there was an actress named Lisa Pelican?
I would just say Pelican,
playing the character of Elaine.
Yeah.
I didn't know her. You were looking her up, and it seemed like she's just a steady working actress.
Just a steady working actor, yeah. Yeah. She's done a ton of TV.
And she was well cast in this. I mean, she and again gave her a really good performance for a B-list, a B-level karate flick.
Yeah.
She was working way too hard.
Oh, I agree. I agree.
You were into her as well.
I love a good redhead, though.
I feel like she probably got cast because she was a redhead and she needed to play the redheaded kid's mom. So, but she was good at it.
She was great, yeah.
Because, then we had Ashley Johnson making her film and television debut in this flick as the little girl Nicole.
Yeah.
Right after this, she went on to be a regular on Growing Pains. She was once the show had jumped the shark.
And
they bring on a new child character. She was the little redheaded, the youngest child in the family. What else did she do? Hold on.
I mean, she was in Critical Role, which is it started as a YouTube thing, but it's super huge now, where it's literally just actors playing D&D. Literally, it's just a camera set at the center of a table watching actors play D&D, and it's actually hysterical.
And she's the lead in the video game of The Last of Us?
So she does the voice and the body work, the mocap work of Ellie in The Last of Us.
I think she got a one episode, one shot in the TV show too, right?
In the TV show, she played Ellie's mom.
Okay, that's cool.
And I remember watching this. She shows up. She has got such a distinctive face that has not changed since she was 5 years old. And I look at her, I saw her show up, and I'm like, I know who this actor is. Where do I know her from? And then when we look it up, I'm like, oh my God, that's exactly where. She was in Dollhouse as well.
Uh-huh. She was that very featured extra in the Avengers, the first Avengers movie.
Yep.
They came out. She was the waitress at the end when New York was getting demolished.
Yep.
Who got several close-ups. Then she got a featured save by Captain America or somebody.
Yep, exactly.
And it's why is this woman getting all these close-ups?
Because Joss Whedon had the hots for her, probably.
I guess so. She was a gorgeous woman.
She's absolutely gorgeous.
So, right on. So, quick thoughts before we get into the movie. Watching it for the very first time 30 years after it came out, 35 years after it came out.
Yeah.
How is it? Is it a product of its time? Does it hold up?
Yes and no, frankly. I mean, there are moments the sexy jazz saxophone soundtrack is hysterical.
Okay.
And the costumes are very much of the time period. And there are certain plot tropes that aren't used anymore. But I went into it starting to watch it going, oh, this is just going to be another hilarious Van Damme movie, and then found myself legitimately engaged.
Yeah.
I actually enjoyed this movie, legitimately enjoyed this movie.
Okay, good. That's good to know because I was watching it, as a 10-year-old or something at home.
Yeah.
And for me, I was like, this one's pretty good.
Yeah.
But I'm I wasn't sure if I was just that was my nostalgia.
Yeah.
Telling me no, I remember really liking this.
Yeah, when I started doing my notes, I was being my usual sarcastic self as taking my notes. And then when I was going back and reading them, about halfway through the movie, the sarcasm drops away, and I'm just taking valid notes about what's happening.
Were you crying by the end?
It's just bawling.
You're emotionally invested.
And we'll get there because there are some really great character moments towards the second half of this movie.
Yeah. So for me, my biggest takeaway, what I told you early on, was I feel like this is what the Street Fighter movie should have been.
Yeah, I agree.
somehow Van Damme wound up in a Street Fighter movie, like a perfect vehicle for him, in a Street Fighter movie with no street fighting.
Yeah.
In it.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck has happened? Capcom decided they wanted to do a G.I. Joe movie.
Yeah.
Or something. Like, they wanted to sell action figures and boats and planes and cars and stuff.
From a plot standpoint, the Street Fighter movie is actually pretty close to the storyline of the video games.
Except the games have street fighting.
The games do actually have street fighting in it. Like, the story of the games is basically M. Bison is a Thai drug lord who starts a street fighting tournament as a cover for his drug smuggling operation. And Guile, who works for the U.S. military, and Chun-Li, who is works for the Interpol, they infiltrate the tournament in an attempt to take down the drug ring. And then all the other characters have different reasons for entering the tournament. And so from a plot standpoint, the movie's actually pretty similar. But like they
just had big shootouts instead of street fighting.
Exactly. Interestingly, this movie came out the same year that Street Fighter 2 came out, which I don't know.
Well, a lot of the settings of the fights and stuff within this movie feel like video game levels. You know?
Yeah, the costumes on some of the fighters are hysterical.
And the crowd all standing around cheering and stuff. And it's like, no, this is what the Street Fighter movie ought to have been. It could have been a guy who went AWOL from the French Foreign Legion because his brother got in trouble and came and had to infiltrate some sort of drug ring, underground fighting shit that was going on. Like it just, I don't know how they botched that movie so badly, except they had a different agenda.
They had a very different agenda.
They were wanting to expand the universe beyond. They wanted T-shirts and lunchboxes and all sorts of other video games and cartoons and they wanted a lot of stuff.
They did Street Fighter the movie, the game,
which was like the Mortal Kombat technology.
Yeah,
right? It was
like used all the digitized photos.
Yeah,
and it
weird.
was unbelievably bad.
I know. How do you fuck it? I was never a Mortal Kombat guy. I was a Street Fighter guy.
Oh, always. Yeah, the pixel art is so much better than Mortal Kombat.
I loved playing Super Street Fighter 2. Like, that was my number one Sega game.
Yeah.
I didn't have the Super NES one that had like Cammy and Neo, or not Neo. What's his name?
Well, it's Cammy and Thunderhawk and
the Jamaican dude.
And
wasn't Neo though, right?
My God. It's
DJ.
It's DJ, thank you.
DJ
and Fei Long. Those are the four characters.
Those were
that they
rad
added.
characters, man.
Yeah, they were great characters.
I remember going off to college and someone brought their old Super NES, and man, we were balling out, like staying up all night playing fucking Street Fighter 2.
Street Fighter's a classic, bro.
Anyway, so
we're getting off topic. That's a different podcast.
As we go along, I'm sure there'll be a lot of like Street Fighter mentions because I've just got big thoughts on what they could have done.
We will, we'll definitely dive in.
Yeah. Okay. But we'll try to get to the plot here. So, all right, we open with the 75th anniversary Universal animation,
which is pretty cool. I still love that one.
That's big nostalgia for me. Yeah, and the one it finishes, with the Earth and the
CG.
That's like still the one that I think of as like my peak Universal animation. It was the one at the front of like Jurassic Park and stuff. But that the 75th anniversary like made its first appearance on Back to the Future 3.
Oh, really?
Like they only ran it for like one calendar year on the one calendar year's worth of releases, and then they retired it and just went with that last one. So that's pretty rad for me. But
that's really cool.
Jean-Claude Van Damme got his name in before the title of the movie, which to do that shit on like a Universal Pictures movie.
Yeah, that's a big deal.
He's definitely a star on the rise at this point. And this was his first big studio flick.
Yeah.
Whatever. But yeah, we got that jazzy sax music that you mentioned, down below this like shady ass underpass, there's some sort of an illicit drug deal going down. I feel like that's exactly where you want to see a drug deal take place.
Yeah. Well, and just to go back to Street Fighter immediately, the pan down is exactly the pan down from the opening sequence of the intro for Street Fighter 2, right? Where it's like the tall cityscape building and it pans down and there's a bunch of thugs and one guy punches out the other guy before the Street Fighter logo shows up. I mean, it could have been a street fight in that moment.
There was like a burned out shell of a car down there.
Absolutely. Yeah,
it was like very much, but like production design was on point.
Yeah.
It was like a fucking crane shot. Like this is, a legitimate movie.
Yeah.
So there's this French guy. He's telling some thugs that I got the money. I want the drugs or whatever. And so the lead thug guy says he wants to see the money. So the French guy whips out this big old roll of cash.
And they kneel for some reason?
Yeah.
That was so weird.
He's apparently come all by himself with a wad of cash to this drug deal or whatever.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah, they squat down for some reason, and he hands him a baggie full of white powder. The completely unnecessary squat just cracked me up.
Well, and then like all of the thugs were, and this is a modern meme, they look like Giga Chads, right? Like just like the squarest jawline, perfect 5 o'clock shadows, perfectly coiffed hair.
Yeah,
I mean, like these are not street thugs. These guys should be walking at Paris Fashion Week.
Well, we get like part 2 of this later when the other street gang comes out.
Oh yeah, that's right.
They're all like primped and styled, or whatever. But anyway, we'll get to that point. But the French guy checks out this bag of powder and he's like, "This is sugar." And the lead thug kicks the guy flat on his back and he's like, "And this is gasoline."
Yeah.
And then his goons like step forward and they pour gas all over this man. And the lead thug strikes a match, throws it on him. And that was like some fucked up shit.
Good
man.
firework, man.
It was good firework.
Yeah.
I can't believe like the whole squad was into this. They're like, let's burn this fucker alive.
We haven't burned anybody recently. What if we burned a guy?
I feel like it should have been someone who was like, can't we just like shoot him?
It was an
And
odd
not
choice.
like, it's just needlessly sadistic.
Yeah, and then the way I guess it was just like, well, we got this guy on fire. We got to do something with him. The way that they cut to an overhead looking bird's eye view shot of him running into a brick wall, falling down.
He's kind of running around like a chicken with his head cut off and then just runs into a brick wall and falls down. It was like low key funny. I thought that was odd. An odd way to do it.
Yeah.
Why did you run into the wall? It just because it made you laugh.
Yeah,
like,
it
involuntarily.
Did. Right, I know. Yeah.
But then, so cut to, we got this horribly burned Frenchman who's
Good
been rolled
makeup
into
on this.
the ER.
Good makeup.
Yeah, dude, it was so like gory.
Yeah, it was. It was
gruesome.
super gory. Yeah.
But so we got his wife, Elaine Gautier, is there. That's Lisa Pelican. And the child, Nicole, are like waiting in the hallway. So this doctor approaches and tells Elaine that it doesn't look good for her husband. It's like, no shit. But the doctor was played by the movie's producer, Eric Carson, which is strange to me.
That's nice.
Then we get this nurse come up with some questions.
So, okay, I forgot to look this up. She looked exactly like Seinfeld's mom.
I don't think it was her because I'm such a Seinfeld guy. I would have noticed that, but I don't think it was her, but she did have the look. There's another lookalike that we're going to get to later that I was dead sure was someone else and I was wrong about it. I guess. That's a teaser for you.
This as an aside, this brings me back to, remember when we did Red Dawn and there was like in one of the fight sequences that it randomly cuts to a soldier doing nothing standing next to a fence and it looked exactly like Bruno Kirby.
Yeah. Yes. It's like weird. Like, why did this guy get a close up?
Yeah,
it just
so
happens
strange.
sometimes.
Yeah.
But so this is kind of fucked up. Elaine is like, I know that our insurance is expired. Like, imagine a scenario in which the husband's on the deathbed and the nurse is like, your insurance is no good. But I think that's like healthcare in America.
Yeah, I mean,
pretty fucked up.
Pretty fucked up, dude. And this was 1990.
I think it's not completely unrealistic, you know? So now the doctor asks, do you have any other family that might be able to help you guys out? And she says no. Then Elaine grabs Nicole and they get up to leave. And we can like hear the dude like screaming, Leon! And the close-ups of that burned up dude were fucked up.
Good.
Man.
It was, the makeup was really good.
Yeah. And also I would like to just point out that was some fucking efficient storytelling.
Yeah.
Like they did the whole setup of the movie and I feel like we haven't even like finished the opening credits yet. It was like 2 or 3 minutes.
I know it was 5 minutes 30.
Okay.
And I know this because my dog Penny, she decided she needed a potty right at that moment.
Okay.
And so I paused the movie and I'm like, damn, we got into this fast. It's only been 5 minutes.
The whole setup.
Yeah.
I love that.
So yeah, I know it for a fact by pure coincidence.
So now the film cuts to Djibouti in North African desert.
Mm-hmm.
We're at a French Foreign Legion outpost in this like rugged landscape. There's a Jeep driving around and this man's doing like grueling physical labor. That was Nevada standing in for
the deserts
Djibouti,
of Africa.
like a dried up lake bed, whatever.
Oh, yeah,
I mean, I had
yeah,
the
yeah.
look. I mean,
It looked good.
It was great.
I believed it.
Yeah. So we see that it's Leon, that's Jean-Claude Van Damme. He's just like pounding a stake into the ground or something, rock hard
as
ground.
you do.
With a sledgehammer, yeah. So this Jeep rolls up, and it's like the mail delivery. The main guy was like, had an Irish accent, strangely. The nationalities of the Legionnaires is all over the place.
Yeah.
But is actually apparently accurate.
Yeah.
Well, I was like, well, this is weird. But apparently, like anyone, I don't know if it's still the case, but anyone from any country could sign up for the French Foreign Legion and do 2 years of service and become a French citizen.
Mm-hmm.
So if you were like an Australian who wanted French citizenship, you could enlist.
I mean, this is an aside, but that's such an insane thing because the French hold their nationality so,
Yeah.
like in the highest esteem. The idea that a dirty Australian could do 2 years in the Legion and become a citizen,
Yeah.
that's crazy.
It is. I think it was like a byproduct of World War One or World War Two.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Where they needed an army or needed to rebuild an army quickly, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you could join, and after a few years of service, you could become a citizen. So that's cool. But I don't think that's the case for Leon. I think he's here as a
Involuntary
alternative to like going to prison,
which we'll find out about in a little bit.
Yeah,
yeah.
Although it's all very vague.
Yeah,
even when we get
it
there.
stays very vague. Yeah,
Yeah.
we there's one mention of it like in about 20 minutes, and then we never go back to it.
So this dude in the Jeep, he pulls out a letter that's addressed to Leon Gautier. Leon seems surprised to be getting mail at all. And the two dudes in the Jeep are like smelling the letter, like implying, I guess, that it smells like perfume.
And it must be the most epic perfume ever.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, these guys were getting woody smelling it. There's no question.
They got a
about
case
it.
of the giggles. Like they keep giggling about it and stuff. It's just odd. But they're messing with Leon, and like Leon then pulls this knife out and like grabs the guy who's holding the letter, and he drops the letter, and then Leon stabs the knife in between the dude's legs and like sticks it, through the letter that's in the guy's lap or whatever.
It's a good moment.
That's some wild shit to do, though.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, you just stab around my dick like that, and we're gonna have problems.
We're gonna have problems.
You know what I mean? But so the guys, they are not amused by Leon's antics. They drive off. So later on, Leon is in the commandant's office, and
he's German.
The commandant's German for some reason. I feel like that guy should at least have been French.
Yeah,
like
I agree.
the commanding guy, should have been French, whatever. But watching as a kid, I never noticed or cared that any of these characters weren't French. I just assumed they had accent. That's probably French accent.
I guess my question is, did you even know what the French Foreign Legion was at that age?
I feel like, didn't that shit like come up on like Looney Tunes cartoons?
Oh,
or
yeah,
something?
yeah,
It was
sure.
like Pepe Le Pew was in the French Foreign Legion in a lot of episodes or something, or Bugs was somehow messing. I don't know. That's all I knew of it.
Famously, like that, it's been in multiple movies, not least of which is The Mummy with Brendan Fraser.
Okay, I never was a big Mummy guy.
Yeah.
Was he supposed to be French Foreign Legion?
He's an American in the French Foreign Legion.
Okay,
So,
it happens, I guess.
Although that comes out like in 95.
And that was
so
in
that's
North Africa as well?
It was, in North Africa.
That makes sense. But yeah, so Leon says, this letter came from my sister-in-law. She says she's been trying to reach me by phone for weeks. Why'd no one tell me?
Yeah.
And the guy made a reference about this isn't Club Med.
Right.
Which threw me because I'm like, that's a random reference for a foreigner to make.
A German guy in the French Foreign Legion in the deserts of Africa know about Club Med.
They know about Club Med?
Yeah.
But then I looked up Club Med and found out it's a fucking French company.
Oh, it is?
It was Club Mediterranean.
Oh,
and it was like they expanded to being all over the world.
Oh, that's crazy.
I know. I'm like, the movie, they're right again.
They're right again.
The writers did their research apparently. But so Leon says, my brother might already be dead by now. The commandant makes this casually racist comment about we could be at war with the local Africans anytime. He said we could be at war with the Wogs, which I had to look. I'm like, what the fuck is that? It's an abbreviation for the word gollywog, which was a black-faced minstrel doll,
interesting.
A little rag doll that was black-faced with racist looking or whatever, and it was shorthand for that. Yeah, strange.
Crazy. All right,
and I'm like, all right,
I believe you.
We're going there. It's probably not accurate.
No, I mean,
of course they're racist. They're
I mean,
they're still trying to do colonial shit in the fucking 90s.
In the 90s.
But the commandant says, your brother's not my concern, nor is it your concern anymore since you gave up your family when you joined the Legion.
Right.
And he's like, I never gave up my family. And then the guy's like, I don't have time for this scheisse. Like, okay, dude's definitely German.
Appreciate that.
for me, he was giving off like big Niedermeyer vibes from Animal House. You know, like the kind of the look and his horse-faced motherfucker and his general attitude.
Yeah.
But the commandant doesn't like Leon talking back to him. You know, it says, Leon's, you know, you're getting 2 more weeks of hard labor as punishment. And then he tells Leon, you know, you've only got 6 more months here. Don't make it 6 years.
Right. And so it's like, that's the point. I'm like, is this a prison sentence? Is it not voluntary?
I think it's a very weird concept, the French Foreign Legion.
Yeah.
I don't like fully understand it, but I do think that it was like common, like an alternative for going to prison.
Okay.
So like it'd be like, do you want to do 4 years in prison or do you want to do 2 years in the French Foreign Legion or something like that, you know?
Right.
And I could see like, would I rather be in a jail cell or out in the fresh air?
Labor? Yeah.
Like you sort of have some degree of freedom. I mean, more so than like, you know, you're getting to hang out and be outside and what, I don't know. But
I think I would make that. I would make that deal. Yeah.
So yeah, I guess we get the impression that he's not here willingly. This is like a sentence for him. Yeah. I feel like some countries still do that shit. Like, Russia was like fucking letting all their convicts go and fight in Ukraine.
Oh, wow.
Which is fucking crazy. But, you know.
Yeah.
It's weird. I don't know. Anyway, Leon calls the commandant an asshole. And then the 2 featured military police officers, they step in and they ask, you know, is there a problem? And one of the dudes like suggests maybe Leon needs some more time in the sweat box. And the commandant agrees, so we're going like full Cool Hand Luke, Great Escape type shit.
There's a great moment as they're leading him out when the German guy says, "And put on your hat," and that pays off in like a couple of seconds.
Okay,
yeah.
So now all the featured MPs were familiar faces for action fans, right? We had the 2 main guys who seemed like they had the look of like they looked like they were maybe North African dudes or whatever. The older one was this actor named Vojislav, I will say this wrong, Govadarica. He was like a Yugoslavian actor.
That sounds right.
Yeah, sure. But he played the main henchman to the evil Russian military leader in Rambo 2.
Yeah.
Like he was the dude who was like giving Rambo shocks and stuff with the car battery or whatever. Then the younger dude was Michel Kesey, who played Tong Po in Kickboxer.
Oh, wow.
It was, and in like various Kickboxer sequels, under some very heavy, very racist Asian makeup. But he grew up and studied martial arts with Van Damme. Like they were best friends. And that dude, he was Moroccan.
Okay. Of
Moroccan descent or whatever. And then the black MP was Billy Blanks.
Yep.
Who last seen on this podcast killing himself on the football field in The Last Boy Scout.
That's right.
But yeah, so the MPs, they're walking Leon to this small metal box. They're telling him to get inside. There was like, this is where I noticed like this military base was like, the production value was on point. It looked good. You had like
a real military
range
base.
of mountains in the background, and it's like a real dust storm blowing, or like they had rigged up a dust storm. And I mean, it was pretty great. Yeah. So when Leon hesitates, one of the MPs, Billy Blanks, knees Leon in the gut and shoves him down. Then Leon gets up and throws some sand in one of the MP's faces. He beats up on Billy Blanks a little bit. It was a lot of vintage Jean-Claude Van Damme kicks and everything.
And of course, like the bad guys attack one at a time, which is important.
Oh yeah, of course. And this was the shit that like Time Cop was sorely lacking.
Yeah.
Like I don't know how valid or legitimate of a martial artist Van Damme is. Like I don't know if he's the type of dude who's going to win martial arts contests.
He's no Tom Hardy.
But his moves, like regardless, his moves were like explosive,
and they're iconic
too.
Like yeah, he's got particular moves that you recognize in all of his movies.
He knew how to make it look awesome on camera.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but Leon thrashes these 3 dudes. He stabs the one guy through a hand, and it seemed like it was definitely like an MPAA cut because it got cut really short abruptly. Like they might have said, no, you got to cut some frames off of this. Whatever.
And then paying off the hat thing, he immediately takes his hat and throws it down on the ground in defiance, which I thought was great.
Yes.
Yeah.
So he jumps in this Jeep and drives off, and that's when the main MP jumps onto the Jeep with him. Leon like sort of punches him out a little bit, then drives through this fence, and he's driving off into the Saharan desert or whatever.
Good stunt. Good stunt work. Like the way he got thrown off the Jeep into the fence, I kind of cringed. I was like, oh shit, did he just get hurt?
This was a small action scene, but it was a good sequence.
And it set up his character in an interesting way. Like he's believable as a street fighter when we get to that point. Right?
We can see that he can take 3 dudes like by himself.
Yeah, exactly.
So now later on, there's a search party that's returning to base saying they couldn't find Leon. And that's when the commandant says, okay, well, he's going to die in the desert. But, just in case, I want some men to go to the port and make sure that he doesn't make it out of Djibouti. Right? And Djibouti is right there, like on the Horn of Africa. So it is like a major shipping lane or whatever. I guess right next to Somalia, where all the fucking pirates are hijacking ships and shit.
Yeah, okay.
So now we see Leon has ditched the Jeep and he's staggering around in the desert at night. I don't know how long do you reckon it's been? I think it almost just has to be the next day because I don't think you could survive in the desert like this without water and stuff.
I was guessing about a day. Yeah.
So right when he's on the verge of like total exhaustion, he reaches the ocean, which is definitely just some beach in California.
Definitely. It's probably Venice Beach.
Yeah, for sure.
Like the drum circle is literally just out of frame.
So now he's found his way to a port. The 2 main MPs are there. They're looking around for him. This bit was like filmed in San Pedro or Long Beach or something like that. I saw, but they did a good job of dressing it up. I mean,
the production design is very good.
They had a fucking camel out there.
There was at no point in this movie did I question the authenticity of the location. Right. The production design was good enough where I'm like, yeah, this is Djibouti.
Even really, for the most part, like LA filling in as New York City, like kind of worked. I mean,
although there is a goof. Carl's Jr. shows up in one of the shots in New York.
Yeah. I noticed a few little things too, but I'm like, you know what? I give him a pass for that. You did the best you could. But yeah, we see that Leon is there. He's like hiding from the MPs, but he's not hiding very well though, because he is like up on the deck of a ship, like hiding behind one of those big what do you call it? A gun whale or something? It's some strange name. The things that you picture like that where Indiana Jones was hiding, you know, in Raiders or whatever. But he's also getting himself yelled at by the first mate, which I feel like would draw attention.
Well, I feel like the first mate was accidentally doing him a favor. It was like,
get back below deck.
Like, yes, that is what you should be doing.
So Leon apparently has gotten a job working on a boat in exchange for transport to America. So now we see shirtless Leon. He's like shoveling coal into a boiler in the engine room, because you got to get that muscle pouring in.
I mean, I guess they're still using steamships in Africa. That's just, and also,
I looked that up. I'm like, they hadn't made a steamship since the 60s,
right?
So maybe they were still some in service.
Old, but also a single person probably couldn't fuel the engines of a ship.
It would take
a
lot of people in 24 hours a day, right?
Yeah, absolutely. But anyway, whatever. It was just a gratuitous, shirtless moment.
Absolutely.
That was really what its point was.
Yeah. And now, meanwhile, in Paris, we see the commandant from Djibouti is there. He's briefing his supervisor that Leon is trying to reach his brother in America. They have a return address from the letter, which was in Los Angeles. And the supervisor says, we'll put in a request with the U.S. government to watch that address. But the commandant is not satisfied with that. Says Leon's a traitor to France and a terrorist.
Yeah.
What terrorist?
Big words.
I'm like, I don't know if this is one of these situations where, if you were convicted of a drug crime, technically that might qualify as terrorism.
I thought it was sort of like a Trumpy vibe. Like he's just exaggerating for the sake of emphasis.
Maybe
that was what I
don't think
from
he's
it,
he's not like a terrorist like you think of as planning bombings.
Right, exactly.
I don't think
he was just trying to make him seem like a bad dude. But I did love how non-committal this foreign diplomat guy was.
You know what? That to me was one of the most realistic things in it. Because I feel like the guy's going to be like, we don't give a fucking shit.
I don't give a shit about this one dude.
Guy. I don't give a fuck. I know. It also didn't make sense to me that last time we saw the commandant was like, oh, he'll never survive the desert.
Right.
And now he seems certain
100% certain
Leon's going to make his way to Los Angeles. But yeah, the supervisor's like, well, all we can do is send the arrest warrant to the police in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
And if they got their own crime though to worry about. He said if they're not too busy with the dope dealers, gang rapists, and serial killers.
This is a theme that comes up over and over again in this movie: drug abuse, homelessness. We see all of this. I think they were making
some statements about America and what the state of America at that time.
Absolutely. I don't think that. I think that's beyond question. But
yeah, no. This is where I thought the supervisor is kind of he's just like, dude, who cares? Like, just because he called you an asshole, like, we're not going to move heaven and earth. Well, like, I don't have time for this shit, and the Americans don't have time for this shit. Like, shouldn't you just be happy that he's gone?
I will steel man this moment a little bit. I believe that it's reasonable that his two goons at the port didn't find him, but did hear word that a guy matching his description was there.
Absolutely.
Like, I believe that
makes sense. They don't get too many probably white dudes wandering out of the desert.
Exactly. So when they asked for this description, they maybe even had a photo of him. They're like, oh, yeah, I saw that guy. He was on a boat.
Yeah,
he's
on
like,
a boat.
Oh, shit, too late.
He was on a boat that was leaving for America.
Yeah, exactly.
Boom.
So, yeah, totally steel man that for you.
I'm with you. No, I'm with that because I like this movie. I want to help it out.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the commandant basically says, well, I'm happy to send my two main MPs here to LA to hunt him down. And they like step out into the doorway and it's like, you brought these two fucks to Paris just to pop out from behind the door here and look intimidating. And now they're going to go like an indefinite vacation in Los Angeles. That's like some wild shit to go through for one like AWOL guy, you know. But
raise the stakes. You always got to raise the stakes.
Oh man, I get that you can't let someone get away with it because then everyone's going to go AWOL or whatever. So maybe
he's trying to make an example, right?
Like you got to say, no, we'll find you no matter what it takes. You will not just walk away from your service or whatever. But elsewhere, we got Leone still shoveling coal on that steamer, making his way across the ocean. He's reading and rereading the letter from Elaine. It's like the story's got this epic quality to it. Like he's making a quest across the world to get there, you know, on a steamship. I mean, but so he's shoveling more coal. Is this like fat cigar smoking man is just watching him, fucking creep. But the guy tells Leon, you're under orders to remain below deck. So, you know, of course. At that point, he's got to sneak up on top. He sees the New York City skyline. They didn't go with the stereotypical Statue of Liberty shot. They went with the Twin Towers.
Right, which is, I mean, it's an iconic visage of New York. Yeah. So.
But so then the first mate is like immediately on top of him and is saying, you're not supposed to be up here. That dude, he was on living like white on rice. But
immediately.
Leon's like, well, you were supposed to be taking me to Los Angeles. And the dude's like, it doesn't matter. You're not going anywhere. If you don't like that shit, we'll just call the cops in France and tell them that you stowed away on the ship, which is like, yeah, Leon, you put yourself in like a rough position here. But he's like a coal shoveling prodigy. You know, it's like this guy never gets tired. He just shovels coal and reads that letter over and over.
24 hours a day.
But the guy's like, you keep stoking my boilers, you'll be breaking rocks in the hot sun. Now what's it gonna be? And that's Leon's like, it's going to be simple. It's like decent writing, you know, for this kind of shit. So Leon decks the guy, then he dives off the boat and he swims to shore. But yeah, it was nice, like nice timing, nice like moment. I mean, it was all like well enough done, you know. So the next day, Leon is wandering through the streets of New York, I guess trying to figure out what's his next move gonna be. I don't know what the fuck he's wearing.
Those pants were. It was basically a long skirt. I mean, it was like.
I felt like he looked like he came out of a time warp.
It was so weird.
Or something. He looked like World War II or the 1930s, like these dungarees, like wide ass legs.
And this is a trend for the whole movie, but it's particularly noticeable in this scene. He wears his pants up above his belly button.
Yeah.
Like it is crazy how high he wears these pants.
I feel like you gotta wear them high like that if you're gonna be kicking and shit.
I guess so.
But yeah, his shit was hiked up really high. Insanely tight through like the hips and the ass. And then the legs were like as wide as the waist.
I know.
It was fucking nuts.
Bonkers, dude. The weirdest jeans I've ever seen.
I also noticed he was wearing a pinky ring.
Oh, I didn't notice
like
that.
A strange touch.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, he's studying like the dirty streets and there's homeless people everywhere.
Drug abuse
and stuff like
everywhere,
that. He's like, America.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like he was making a statement. It kind of reminded me of the way in They Live when Roddy Piper came to LA and it was like all these tall glistening skyscrapers and then down in the streets it was like homeless people in the gutter and stuff like that. I feel like it's like making a statement about the country and like the direction that we're heading in, which is more magnified today than even back then. Like
I know, right?
The income gap and all that.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's enough of a starter for the movie.
Definitely a good start. Start. Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm glad that you're talking about Lionheart with me, Eric. I love this movie, man.
Like I said, I started watching on this fully ready to be watching it ironically and making fun of it. And very quickly, I was like, I'm digging this. I'm
Your
enjoying this movie.
cynicism all like melted
Oh
away.
yeah, no, it was terrible. I hate it when my cynicism melts away.
It's thawed. You're like the
My
Grinch.
cold black
You're
heart.
like your heart grew as you were watching the movie. Oh, I love that. Okay, well, we'll be back next week to talk a whole lot more about Lionheart
That's right.
and drink a whole lot more liquor.
We're just getting started.
Just getting started. So please join us, and until then,
We'll be back.